Welcome back to the channel. Joe Potter, Vintage Underground. Glad to have you. I thought I would do an update on the Jag coupe build. It's been a little while. A lot happening, but not a lot visually. And so there'll be a lot of changes here shortly, but I thought I'd catch you up with where we are right now. Okay, so the engine is back in the car yet again. And it's kind of where it was, down to the base chassis. And what we're doing now is three main things. We are doing new intake plenums and some setup on the engine. And then we're putting the stiffening structure in the inside the chassis here. And we're working on the exhaust system. I know it seems kind of a little bit premature to do the exhaust system, but it's one of those things that spans front to rear, and if we're making changes, it's one of those things that can really get in the way, and you end up with a low-hanging exhaust because you didn't account for it, and blah blah blah. So when you're building a car like this, all the components in place as you're going along keeps you from having to go backwards and redo or redesign things. So. We'll get the exhaust system on and in place and immediately come off. We just want to know where it's going to land. Okay, so first let's talk about the engine. When we originally ran this engine on the dyno, so this is a 6-liter Jag V12. When we originally ran this, we ran it with the stock exhaust manifolds, the log manifolds, and the stock Jaguar inlet runners, but with bigger injectors and bigger throttle body. Now we have headers on it, and they're on here now just for fitment into the chassis. But so we've got headers now, and we're in the middle of building different plenums. And the idea here is to end up with a physically larger plenum in the delivery, so we don't get compensated or constrained inside that small plenum trying to feed all three. So we're in the middle of fabricating. You kind of see we got one half of it sort of more just in place. This is the inlet trumpets, and this is what's inside this plenum, and there'll be one on this side and going this way. So then we go from that plenum and those velocity stacks down into the runners, right down into the engine. So there'll be one of these on either side. They'll be mirrored just like the stock stuff, but it'll give us a lot more control and a lot better delivery. And now also with the exhaust headers, give us a lot better flow. I think we did about 378 or something like that on horsepower, and a little more in torque. So the goal here is to get over 400, and that'll be nice, streetable, usable power. Anyway, that's the goal on that. So we still have to fit everything. So making these plenums, and they all have to fit under the bonnet. So the bonnet is on. We'll set that on while we're making these. Make sure we have develop any clearance issues. The other thing we're doing here, in the original design rendering, I had it so that the two inboard light ports on the bonnet would be air inlets. And the problem is that the radiator is right here. And so what we've done now is made a custom radiator with ports that'll allow us to go inlet through the bonnet, what used to be the light opening on either side, in, out, and directly into the plenum on either side. So that was in the original rendering we did, but making it happen was a little bit tricky, mostly because of the radiator. But we've got that solved. We ended up just making one. So the other thing that's going on is the tube structure to stiffen the car. You can see the back section is cut out. There's some markings down here in the corner where we're going to cut into the chassis, into the rocker structure, up through the A-pillar, across the dash, up and forward down into the and tie into the front suspension. We'll also tie into the rear structure above the rear end cage. This is not a track car. This is a street car. All that is to stiffen the car, not for track car, race car, roll cage or something like that. This is very much an exercise to stiffen the chassis. These cars move a lot. This chassis moves a lot, and I'm putting a lot more horsepower and torque to this. I'm putting a lot more brake to it, a lot more tire contact, tire patch to the ground. All that just stresses the chassis that much more. So we're stiffening it so it can handle, and the car will still be balanced. So that is kind of most of that. That's what's going on. And like I say, the exhaust system is going on. Is also, we're developing those pieces. The headers are on. I don't have much to show you there. We've got some little pieces that we've fabricated so far. But the design is unique, and it's going to be interesting. And I'll show you when we get it all into there and laid out. I have laid it out and designed it, for sound. I want a certain sound for this. And most Jag V12s, when they get set up, end up too deep or too throaty. I want a high-pitched, I want more of a V12 sound. And I think I've got it, so I can do that. It'd be kind of interesting. So I'll show you that when we get it sorted. So that's what's going on. The next big step will be actually seeing some tube structure in the car, as well as getting the other plenum on and seeing those finished out. And that should be coming here pretty soon. And I'll fill you in. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and following along. And please do like and subscribe if you can. And we'll see you on the next one.